What a day it's going to be today, because we have one of our most favorite speakers.
One of our most favorite people, possibly.
Yeah, I think so, because she just makes you feel just calm with that beautiful energy, and helps you to understand with the knowledge that we're needing to understand with our horses, and of course helping us in our human world as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to say this, well, maybe I'll say that after. We'll go through our regular stuff first, and then we will get into why Leah is amazing. So the first part of everything here today is that if you hear something, and you will, that it knocks your socks off, or you're like, I had no idea, I'd like to know more, throw in that hashtag,
holy jumping tuna fish.
Why do we suck so much on that?
I don't know.
Holy jumping tuna fish is the hashtag that you're going to throw in, just so we know what people are liking to hear, or information that's really kind of exciting for you, because then we can always build on it as well. Oh, Libby's on already. I'm so excited for this. You should be, Libby.
Sorry.
We're excited for it, doggone it. So, actually, Libby posed a great point there. If you guys are on, tell us who you are and where you're from. You don't have to show us. That could get weird. Also, share this baby out, because sharing is, in fact, caring. It's caring, people. And at the end of the day, we do want more of this type of knowledge out there in the world. I think it could affect a lot of people, even with themselves, right?
It can.
Understanding things a little bit differently. So
you bet. And I think that's the best part of this actual page, and all of us who are like-minded, that we want to help each other globally around the world. It's not about let's keep secrets to ourselves. It's about let's share everything, so that it can maybe even help someone that maybe would have never even known or understood before. So the sharing piece is very important. Yeah, get out of here. I said very important.
But it is, doggone it. And the other piece, oh no, that's not the other piece yet, but we're going to it. The other hashtag we want to see you guys throw in is that we are Life Changers hashtag.
You are?
That's right.
We are.
Everybody on this
living
earth has the opportunity to make a positive effect on somebody else's day and really change a life. You never know what kind word it would be, or the action you would do that would change somebody's whole day. It's a whole world.
A muffin?
Right? World.
Tim Hortons.
Who doesn't get happy over a muffin?
Well, not Tim Hortons, but I just mean like when you pay for someone.
Just bring me coffee. And you
pay for that person behind you. I think that's always so exciting.
Oh, we got Jackie on. Good morning, Jackie. In Australia. So good evening, Jackie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and Libby's on, and Michelle's on. Good to see all of you. And the next piece is, of course, if you are catching this on replay, just throw in that replay, so we can come back and say hi to you. Because as we like to say hello to all the people who are joining us live, we like to come back and say hi to you otherwise as well. So who are we? My name is, I switched it.
Whoa, smart girl.
So my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning, Inc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmick, the founder of the Equine Connection, a master instructor, helping people globally around the world do what it is that we do. What do we do? The greatest job in the world.
That's true.
Why? Even since 2008, there is not one day where especially for myself, I'm always like, wow, what a privilege, what an amazing opportunity that you have to be able to live your dream. And it is working with horses, but I love our certification. Why? Because it's the welfare of the horse that always comes first. And because we have the welfare of the horse, we don't use horses, we actually partner with them. So that's really understanding their culture and their language. And that's why our next guest speaker is going to be so amazing, because it wasn't until Leah Dyck came to take our certification that Carolyn and I are like, whoa.
Second.
We were like, wait a second. We thought we were doing all pretty good. And this is the thing. You always have to remember where you're at, because you're supposed to be there. But now when you learn more information, because you don't know what you don't know till you do know, now you got to change it up for the sake and for the welfare of your horses, but also for yourself, because these beautiful creatures help us every single day if we are willing to just listen and be patient to hearing everything they say, because they always give you the answer. It's just sometimes we as humans, we might not listen, right? And the best part is, even with us, is all of our programs are run with The horse is literally on the ground. Nobody gets on the back of the horse because then you're controlling the horse. We literally allow the horse to teach and help our clients to move forward. So I know you're going to be so excited to hear all the marvelous stuff because Leah has a new course that now I went through that one, and that one, pow, blow my mind. It's like you keep having to step up every time you get better at understanding the
That's
horse.
what we should put on our website. Pow, blow my mind. Carry fullness.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually
it is.
Yeah.
I'm not even being sarcastic.
No, it is a good one. Simple and short.
So without further ado, we will introduce you guys to Leah. Now, as you mentioned, Leah was one of our first introductions to this whole side of things. And for anyone who knows me or has watched us for a while, I am a skeptic through and through. Prove it to me. Always first. Leah was the first person ever to be able to do that. And
with science,
everything she told me was backed up, and she, poor girl, probably had to field many questions from me as we went through the whole process. But Leah is what allowed me to open my mind in a different way. So this is one you guys want to listen into. So Leah is the founder of Stone Clad Farms, Equus Attuned, and developer of Equus Empowered, resources for increased understanding, communicationship, partnership, a 9-week online course, and Horse Culture and Energy, which is an online course as well, and on-site workshops. Leah teaches inspired equine professionals, enthusiasts around the world, just like you, who are fascinated with the equine communication and culture in service of human self-development to interpret the messages within the behaviors of your horses. This empowers you to better serve your clients, family, and friends, fostering self-awareness, accurate feedback, and enhanced well-being, while also emerging with a happier, healthier horse. Leah, one of the things I love about her too is she only takes on people she knows that she will be able to help and increase their own awareness and growth towards next level service of themselves, their clients, and their horses for enhanced joy, passion, and wellness. And all of that, we really like her a lot. So let's bring in Miss Leah.
Leah Dyck.
There she is.
Yay. Welcome, Leah.
Stunning being that she is.
She is inside and out. I'm telling you, you just want to touch her sometimes. Just say, yeah, I feel so good, Leah.
It's true. You hang out with Leah, it's like
Can I just stay here and listen to you guys tell me more?
For a session like that too. We'll just say all the nice things about you. We could fill an hour.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I think there was a delay. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say I'm honored to be here, and I feel the exact same about you when I'm in your presence as well. You guys have, for anyone that's watching, if you're at all thinking about getting into a career that's different with horses, that is of service to people, you could do no better than to come to the Equine Connection programs. They have really opened incredible amounts of doors for me and opened my mind and world up as well. So just huge honor and credit to you guys as well.
Thank you so much. We love that. And it's nice that we can have this reciprocal. We're just blowing each other's minds.
Exactly, right?
That's what we're doing nowadays. And people are already singing your praises in the chat here too, and all the comments. So if people have questions, are you okay if they post them in as we go too, Leah?
Yes, please. I am someone who encourages questions. I want you to prove it to yourself, ask questions, delve deeper, challenge. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And it's so exciting because we have all of North America and New Zealand and Australia on today. So this is really cool that they're here to hear you.
Yes.
So I think we should just let you go to town with the knowledge and understanding so it can open our minds.
Okay. So I welcome to everyone that is here. And as we mentioned, please do throw your comments and questions in the chat, and I'll have some questions for you that you can put in the chat as well. So I usually start these conversations just with a little preface and caveat that I'm not a scientist or a researcher, but I am someone who likes to know the hows and the whys. So, you know, a bit of a skeptical mind in my past as well. I'm quite a linear thinker, so I like it to make sense and be logical. So that's what really led me to beginning to study energy and different modalities and how they work and why. Because I had an exposure very early on in my life with my mom, who's very, very much into energy, and I was not for quite some time. It didn't make sense to me. And But I had a lot of happenings in my life that made me start to open up a little bit and want to learn more. So I just began to study this and look into it a little more so I could understand it for myself, but also so that I could have the language to explain to others as well. And as facilitators or professionals in the industry, this is what is really helpful for our clients as well, that we start to develop the language so that it's palatable to someone that's new to the concepts as well. I have a very good friend, Dr. Jody Santa Rosa, who's a veterinarian, who also helped me. She was integral in helping me really piece it all together. So she is a veterinarian, but she also does a lot of her practice in vibrational medicine also. So we'll just kind of dive in to like an introduction of energy and then some associated scientific theories. So we know science is built on theories. It's actually never hard and fast. It's about creating a theory and proving it. And sometimes those theories get disproven down the road or they get added to. So this is what we kind of know right now. And I always start off just with the knowledge that energy simply is. So in junior high, we all learned the first law of thermodynamics. That's energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transformed. So we know that we are exposed to all of the energy that's ever been in the universe is still here. We don't create it, we don't destroy it, but we do manipulate it, channel it, transform it, and certainly work with it. So if we just start even with that very basic concept, everyone that's here, I'm going to get you guys to do a little exercise with me. So just take your hands together and we're just going to rub them together for a little while. Just kind of start turning up the energy, stirring it up a little bit. Now you're going to stop and just bring your hands apart just a little while and start to move them back and forth. You're going to start to feel something. So you might feel some warmth or some tingling, maybe a push or a pull. Sometimes people feel like a ball in between. So just now as you're doing that, put in the chat what you feel. What do you feel, Carrie and Carolyn, specifically, if you could describe it?
I feel in my palms like there's kind of like a ball or something in between. I'd go with that.
Okay.
And mine are very, very, very tingly. Like, you know how you've been sitting on your foot for too long? Like it feels super tingly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just the start of, starting to kind of feel the energy that is around us and within us all the time. Anyone on the chat, throw in what you feel as well. Just type it in as we go.
Yeah, we know you're all here. We can see it. A ball and warm.
Oh, and warm.
Yeah, a ball and warm.
Whole day.
I'm gonna call them out.
Some interesting
We're
ones.
there. Type it in.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of keep going with these are all quite just basic concepts of when we deal with energy, we know we have to have the concept of grounding as well. So in electrical engineering, a ground is just a common return path, or it's a direct physical connection to the earth. So a good example is an electrical circuit. We know it has to start and complete a circuit. Or the grounding piece of connection to the earth, we know that lightning starts above the earth and it has to come down and make direct connection with the earth. So these are just the starts of some practical application of the concept of energy. Another thing that we all learned in junior high is the particle theory. And I'll give you a little reminder. My own daughter is in grade 8 right now, and they're sort of going through this. So it's been a good reminder for me too. So the particle theory is just the idea that there are tiny particles, so in the form of molecules and atoms and ions, and they're moving at different speeds. So if we relate that to, again, another learning in junior high, Einstein's theory of relativity, which really just tells us that matter is energy. If we assume that's true, then those particles are also made of energy. So if we just think about this desk that I'm sitting at, and you ladies are sitting at, it's a solid. So it's got particles that are close together, that are in a regular pattern, and they're essentially vibrating on the spot. Then if we go to the other end of the spectrum, gas, those are particles that are far apart, they're in an irregular pattern, and they're moving really quite quickly. So if we just take that down to a tangible, this desk that we're sitting at that we think is solid and we perceive it to be, is in fact not. It's made up of particles that are moving on the spot. So we know this desk is made of energy. Take it to another little...
like when you say it that way, it's not solid. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That's right. It is made of energy. We're surrounded by energy all the time. So we go a little further into frequencies, and we know, and we'll delve a little deeper, that the frequencies around us are detected within the limits of our five senses. So our sense of sight, touch, smell, taste. If we just look at the electromagnetic spectrum, so that's on one end, we've got radio waves. Those are big waves, big oscillating waves. And on the far end are gamma, very small, teeny tiny little waves. But in the middle, and it's such a tiny little portion, is what the human eye can pick up as visible light. So we know that we can only detect a fraction of the available vibrations. We know there's a big electromagnetic spectrum, but we can actually only see with our own senses that middle portion, which is visible light. So if we just think about even human hearing range, we can hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz. But if we compare that to dolphins and bats, who are way up at 160,000 hertz, and whales who are subsonic at 7 hertz. So we're not hearing those ranges that other beings are, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. They're still there. And we just look at human sight. Most of us are about 20/20, but an eagle is 25. So an eagle sees much farther with much more definition, much more sharply. They see things we don't. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. So we know we're just detecting right now a fraction of the available frequencies and vibrations. Now we've got the concept. Put it in the chat if you have heard of the Fibonacci sequence. That is out.
Leah thought
And I know Libby has. She's heard it too. Yeah. So that's a series. It's a mathematical equation essentially, and it's a series of numbers. So in the sequence of numbers, the number in the sequence is equal to the sum of the two numbers before it. So if we start to make squares with those widths, we get a spiral. And this spiral can be seen all the way throughout nature. And it's really a reflection of vibration and frequency that we've talked about, this energy being all around us throughout the universe that we can't create or destroy, only transform. So it's really nature's numbering system, and we see it everywhere. We'll see it in the shape of a human ear. We see it in the shape of a wave, in the bracts of a pine cone, also in the way the seeds are placed in a sunflower. And it really just highlights this concept of being affected by frequencies around us and the interconnectivity of all living things through the medium of energy. We can take it a little more tangible, though, into Western medicine. So medicine uses forms of energy and the measurement of it every single day. So an ECG and an EKG, those are measures of the electrical activity within the heart. An EEG is the electrical activity in the brain. They also use things like lithotripsy, which is shock waves that break up stones in the kidney and bladder. We also know ultrasound. All of these things are uses of energy in our Western medicine. But what is pretty interesting when we look at it from a quantum perspective is that energy modalities are now being recognized throughout the scientific and medical community as tangible and measurable therapies. So just as an example, Reiki, which is an energy modality, is used frequently in the Stollery Children's Hospital and the Cross Cancer Institute in Edmonton. So for those of you that aren't local to this area, Those are two very renowned and highly respected medical institutions in Canada. So what's actually really interesting is the Cross Cancer Institute a number of years ago started a study with the effects of Reiki on 20 oncology patients that were in chronic pain. They used a number of scales to measure the pain before and after a Reiki treatment, and they were very, very conclusive that Reiki greatly improved pain levels. And they now actually offer it as a therapeutic modality within the hospital itself. They often call it compassionate touch. So there's a few places that are doing that, and speaks loudly toward the shift of looking at energy from a quantum perspective and therapeutic element as well. So we also know, well, actually you could, anyone else, are you familiar with Reiki? Throw that in the chat. Have you had an experience with Reiki yourselves? So it's also recognized that thought is energy, and it can create a positive or a negative effect based on its intention. So if anyone's interested, and we'll talk about intention a little more as we keep going, but there's a really great book called The Intention Experiment by Lynn McTaggart, who gives quite a bit of the research and science behind it. So that's a great resource for people. I'm saying yes to Reiki, quite a few people there. Awesome.
Who was the book by?
Yeah.
Lynn McTaggart is her name, and it's called The Intention Experiment.
Thank you.
Welcome. So if we look just even very simply at examples like placebo. So placebo is just a beneficial effect from a drug or a treatment that has a positive effect simply due to the patient's belief that it will. And what's incredible about placebo is it is effective in people untrained in intention. We'll talk about how we can increase our ability to be intentional. Up to 40% of the time. So just kind of in the regular population, placebo is very, very effective. But alternatively, there's also the nocebo effect, which is where they have a negative occurrence due to a suggestion, and then the belief of that suggestion that a harmless substance will have a harmful effect. So that person actually has some negative experiences with that. So our thoughts and our intentions are incredibly powerful, and they really can affect how we transform our own reality. And recent research really highlights that. And there's some research that also shows intention is a cognitive skill that can be learned and enhanced. So similar to intuition, which we'll talk about later, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Throw in the chat if you have heard of a gentleman named Roger Bannister. Has anyone heard of him before? Carrie, you might have. He is the first man to run a 4-minute mile. So before him, no one was able to do it. They decided it couldn't be done. No one had done it, but he then did it. And what is incredibly fascinating about that is not only did he do it himself, but within 2 years of his having done that, 37 other people, 37 ran a 4-minute mile. And it was simply because they now believed it could be done. So thought is energy and incredibly powerful.
That's insane. That's cool.
That's super cool. Like,
look where you could go in the
or
world
the idea
just with
that
it.
now that somebody's done it, that means it can be
Yeah.
done, right? Wow.
Mhm.
But to be the person that had that intention in the first place, to be the one who did it, thinking it couldn't be done, that's cool.
See, that means every Equine Connection certified facilitator can, because we did it.
Doggone it.
That is right. Yeah, that's right. And think about how powerful your intentions are when you are with your horses and your clients. All of the things you can help manifest or create situations that help us all come to our own self-realizations also. So again, a little more tangibly, we're going to talk about fascia. Switch topics just a little bit, but it's still very connected to energy, because Fascia forms the largest system in the body, and it's the system that touches all other systems. So what's fascia? I haven't been able to come up with a better example of it, but it's, you know, when you have a chicken breast that you're going to cook for dinner and you're getting it ready, but there is that sort of fine, almost fairly clear, but tough membrane almost over the top of it. That is fascia. So essentially it's a lubricating gel-like connective tissue, and it allows all of our organs and our muscles to be able to move against each other without friction. But it also provides a supportive framework all the way down to the cellular level, and it ultimately surrounds and separates everything. It's really flexible and it's really strong. Now, what's really important about fascia in this discussion is that it's also contains something called the myofascial system. So that's a mesh of tube-like structures that are made of collagen and filled with fine fluid, and ultimately functions like an energetic superhighway because it carries signals in the form of tiny electrical light impulses called biophotons. So the biophotons are said to be the smallest sparks of conscious energy. They allow all the cells to communicate with each other. So again, biophotons are tiny. To see them, they are magnified 30,000 times. And energy carrying messages and information is constantly moving throughout both our electromagnetic fields and our physical body in the form of light through the biophotons. So this light is everywhere and it's vibrating at different speeds and imperceptible within the limits of our 5 senses. So why do we care about biophotons? Essentially, so within us is the myofascial system, and it has 7 major points where there are more fascia than other areas in the body. And those specific 7 areas correspond to the 7 main energy centers or chakras. So because there's an increase of fascia in those areas, there's an increase of biophotons. And when you have more biophotons, you have more energy. So you're creating a larger energy hotspot. And what's really powerful about this is it highlights the blending of Eastern and Western medicine. Kelly Schwiegel, she's a really good resource for further information on this subject. I just actually recently found her and I've been watching her YouTube videos, and this is information I've known for quite some time, but she's actually built it quite beautifully. So if there's people that would like to know a little bit more about how all of that works, the fascia and the chakras blending, Google her or just look her up on YouTube. So it's Kelly Schwiegel, Schwegel. We know fascia is highly affected by our emotions and thoughts. So neuroscience and somatic teachings, for example, teach us that the hips are storage for emotion. So I don't know if any of you have seen, there's quite a few ads going around Facebook, or at least comes through my feed, where they have questions like, why am I crying when I do a hip flexor release or a lot of stretching through my hips? There's a release of emotion. For example, the psoas muscle, with its proximity to the pelvis and hip, and also the sacral chakra, and its link to the adrenal glands, is known to store grief, fear, sadness, loss, worry. This is something that has been represented in myself, and something that I'm actually currently working on, with this beautiful awareness that our bodies are always talking to us the same way our horses are. And it's a powerful communication from my body to continue to heal from the trauma and the cause of these emotions. So just a little highlight for those of you that have maybe really stiff backs, really stiff hips, those sorts of things. There's often an emotional component. And in my Equus Empowered course, there's sort of a whole module dedicated to that. And again, we talk about studies because knowledge is important. So I'm going to share with you a study about how horses reduce stress levels in children that was performed by the WSU College of Veterinary Medicine. They took a group of students that were given 90 minutes per week to interact with horses. So they're working on horse behavior, grooming, handling. They did do some riding. And at the end of this 12-week period of those participants interacting with the horses, they were asked to provide a saliva sample. And the researchers used this cortisol sample to compare the levels and patterns. And what they found was that the children who participated had significantly lower stress hormones compared to the children who were in the waitlist group. So those waitlist group weren't interacting with the horses. What they found really exciting about that is that they had significantly lower hormone levels in the afternoon. They know that a higher base of cortisol is actually a risk factor for the development of psychopathology. So this is really just starting to lend some scientific evidence to support the benefits that horses also bring. And as we delve a little bit deeper, we start to understand how the horses are doing that, how and why, and what's so effective about them. And that's kind of the exciting part for me as well. So we just kind of tie in our horses now. We know and talk about the equine physiological and energetic perception of them. We know that horses have the same 5 senses we have, and they have enhanced bioreceptors. So as an example, as horse people, we know that horses can see in a much broader sphere than we can. We know they can hear farther than us. We know their skin is as sensitive as our fingertips all over their whole bodies. So they have these enhanced bioreceptors. But for the purposes of our talk today, we're actually going to talk about their 6th sense of intuition. So what's the 6th sense? So the definition of intuition really is the attaining of knowledge or cognition without rational thought or inference. So it's essentially the ability to know something without conscious reasoning. Science tells us there are 3 types of intuition. The first one is implicit knowledge. So that's something that we've acquired the knowledge of in the past, and we either forgot it or we just didn't realize we had learned it. The other one is energetic sensitivity. So that's the ability of our nervous system to detect and respond to environmental signals. So if we just think of a little example, imagine or remember a time when you were sitting in your car and you looked over at a red light and someone was looking at you. You just sensed that they were looking at you. You didn't see them or hear them, but you had a sense, and then you locked eyes. That's a little bit of that energetic sensitivity, intuitive sense. And then there's non-local intuition. So that's something that can't be explained by past or forgotten knowledge or by sensing the environmental signals. In horses, this is a highly developed sense and a survival mechanism for them. It's a language and a barometer to safety in equine society. Horses, as we know, are prey animals and they're herd animals. And it's incredibly important to them to be very closely connected to what's going on in their environment, what's going on with their herd mates, and then, of course, within themselves also. So they are focused on safety. And being intuitively connected helps them know when to leave as a herd, how to turn as a herd, how to be very, very aware. It also helps them create this wellness and balance within each other, because as horses are dependent on safety for survival and their herd, if any horse is out of balance or unwell, they're attracting predators. So horses work very, very closely and intuitively together to help all of them stay well and balanced and together and safe. So intuition is a big part of horse culture. If we bring that back to our human world here, I am including a bit of intuition research that stands out to me. I have a few examples that we put in the course, but this is one that sticks out to me because it's not an area that we would typically expect to see some research done, and then the results of that research then taught in their program. So the Office of Naval Research did a $4 million study on the premonition and intuition for sailors and Marines. And what happened was the Pentagon had so many reports from the field and from war situations of sergeants, for example, using intuition to prevent carnage from explosive devices, so IEDs, and all of those incidences. They just had so many reports coming back of a sixth sense, something that allowed those leaders to respond without consciously analyzing the situation. So many of those reports kept coming back, they decided they better do a study into this. And their conclusion was so strong that they actually now teach that within especially their Marine program, how to hone those precognitive skills. So yeah, they call it sense making, and it is now part of, and this is an unusual place. This is very regimented and not something you maybe would expect. But they had, irrefutable, to use Carrie's word.
Making sense, but this is sense making. Yeah, that's amazing.
Sense making.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So research highlights the powerful role that intuition plays in making better decisions. And it also shows that it is a cognitive skill that can be improved. Exactly like intention. All thought and belief is energy. So horses, they're already masters at intuitive sensing, at sensory awareness and sensory processing. They are nonverbal. So once you start to hone your own intuition and intention and further understand equine culture and behaviors, the communication between horse and human can start to become something like almost like a telepathic type of communication. I have so many people that say, like, I just wish my horse could talk. I just wish I understood what they were saying. And this is one way of getting on a similar frequency where we begin to understand one another a little more deeply. The very important part of this is that horses will help us with this when we begin to recognize that they are offering to do so, and then allowing them to balance and interact with us in this method and within the method that they use within their own horse culture. I'd love to do a little exercise with you all right now on intention and intuition as well. So let's start with anyone that's watching. So whether this is live or the replay, if you've got a partner that you could get and come participate with you for 1 minute, it doesn't take very long. Yeah, you two have built-in partners there. So I'll give you a minute or two to go run and see if there's someone that will come hang out with you. And in the meantime, we're going to do a little exercise that's really helpful in regulating our own nervous systems. And again, it is about our own intention and the power of using our energetic thoughts and body, where we'll do it's just a grounding exercise first. This is also a great tool to use in your businesses. So you can use it personally, but also can be used in your programs before, during, anything where we maybe need to regulate our own nervous system and help to come back to center. So we're going to just do a grounding breathing exercise. And then as everyone's getting their partners, we'll move into the final exercise. So I'm going to walk you through how we're going to do the breathing, and then we'll actually do it. So you're going to sit or stand comfortably. You're going to close your eyes, and don't do it now. Just walk you through it first, and then we'll do the actual breathing. So what you're going to do is breathe in deeply through your nose. You're going to press your belly out at the same time. So you're going to feel the bottom of your lungs first and then the top. And you're going to breathe in all of the sort of positive and wonderful, uplifting, loving, high vibration things that are in the world. Breathe in all of that high vibration energy that we're surrounded with. And then you're going to breathe out through your nose. So you're going to press your belly in as you breathe out. And you're going to imagine that you're sending roots from your feet way deep down into the earth, far and wide. Feel yourself heavy and deeply connected to the ground. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times. So we can start now. So you can get yourself comfortable, sit or stand, however you like, and just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And we're going to start breathing in deeply through your nose. Press your belly out. Breathe in all the positive high vibration. Hold for just a second. And then breathe out through your nose. Press your belly in and send those roots way down deep. So breathe in again, breathing in all the positive, uplifting energy. And breathe out through your nose, sending roots wide, wide, deep, dark earth. And breathe in again through your nose, positive and uplifting. And then out through your nose, sending those roots feeling heavy and deeply connected. One last time in. And then out. Deeply, deeply connected to the earth. Feel the warmth of the dark earth and be very, very connected. Okay, so we can open our eyes. That's a very good grounding practice that you can use really quickly. And the more you use it again, the stronger it gets. So sometimes you can just do 2 breaths and automatically you'll feel yourself be really quite grounded and connected. Sometimes it takes 10 or 20, but it's just a little bit of practice. So we're going to move on to, we're going to demonstrate the power of thought and intention and how the body and frequencies around it are affected by a vibrational change. So again, this is something that you can use personally and also as a kind of reflection for yourself to see where you're at and how your body responds to your intentional thought, and also something you can potentially use with your clients. So when we're done, do put in the chat what you've discovered for yourself. So again, if you don't have a partner right now, just feel free to watch the replay and try it when you do. So we're going to get Carrie and Carolyn to be our examples right now. I'll get you guys to stand up and move to the back. And decide who is going to be partner 1 and who's going to be partner 2.
I'm number 1. I'm number 2.
Okay, perfect. So partner 1, you're going to stand facing each other.
Oh, chips. Okay, partner 1.
Facing each other.
Yep, you betcha. And you're going to close your eyes, partner 1, and you're going to think of a really positive, uplifting, happy thought, a yes. But not only are you going to think of it, you're going to feel those emotions. So whether it's gratitude or love or joy or passion, whatever that is for you, put yourself in that really positive, uplifting place and feel those emotions. And when you've got that feeling firmly established, put your left arm out, directly out to the side. So partner 2, you're going to just press firmly down on her forearm. And you're going to take note.
Like now?
Press firmly down. Okay. So you're going to take note of the strength of her arm.
Woo-hoo, baby. Strong. That is strong.
That's my bad shoulder.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're feeling quite a bit of resistance and strength, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, definitely. I can't really even push it down. I mean, I'm not like yanking. I'm really putting pressure on though. And no, it definitely stays where it's at.
Intriguing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So partner 1, we're going to do the same thing again, but this time you're going to put yourself in a lower vibration state. So you were just in a very high vibration. So now you're going to think of something that maybe makes you angry or sad, frustrated. It's, it's a no thought, and you don't have to stay there for long. We're going to come out of it fast, but you're going to feel those emotions. Really put yourself in that place and feel them. And when you're ready, put your arm out to the side and Carrie will press down again.
Oh my. Okay, I buckled.
Wow, that's bizarre. Wow.
So what did you feel that time?
I could easily move her arm.
It's funny. I could feel it like in my belly. I was like, look, heavy. And then when
Right.
there was no like, I had to stop it once I thought about it. It was like the, what do you call that? I'm so smart.
Resistance?
Yeah, like you're not attention span. When you react quickly or not quickly to something. Help me, people.
Oh, like the resistance?
Sure. A reflex?
Yes, that's the one.
See, I'm doing that.
Yeah, the word either way. But it was like how quick I reacted to it was totally different. It was like the first time I knew that it was going to come, so I automatically was there for it. And then the second time, it was like my reaction time went way down, and it was just until it fell, then I could react.
So
Right.
Yeah.
So a shift in your physical strength and your emotional one. Now, before you go, we're going to shift you back into the high vibration state.
Okay, good.
So you can see how your intention is so powerful. So go back to where you're feeling really positive and uplifting, this high vibration. Feel it. Put yourself back in that good spot and put your arm out when you're ready. And then Carrie will press when. Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
That's pretty good,
Okay.
Charles.
Good. So back to feeling. So can you describe for us what you feel, Carolyn, in your, and that's good. You guys can sit down. We'll just do one part. Can you describe for us what you felt emotionally and then what you felt physically in the high vibration state?
I felt like I was rooted and strong, like standing, and like I could, like my chest was out. I don't think my body actually moved, but I felt like it was like higher up in my heart and my throat kind of thing, and it felt nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a profound statement for you. It felt nice.
Nice is
Yes,
big
okay.
word.
And so in your body, did you also feel physically stronger?
Yes.
Your resistance was, right. So that's just a great example to see how incredibly powerful our thoughts and our intentions and our beliefs are. But not only that, the emotions that will attach to them too, and how it actually makes us shift physically. So physically, when we're in a high vibration state, we're actually more strong. We are actually more grounded. We're actually more centered, just like you said, like your chest was up. And your emotions are so incredibly tuned in with that. And then alternatively, when we are angry and frustrated and sad, we're physically less strong. And that affects all of the frequencies within us and around others as well. So that's a little tool that you can use in your business too. If you start to see some of those things in your clients, something you can check in with for yourself. Okay, how am I? Where am I at? If I'm not feeling physically strong, do I need to shift sort of my thoughts and beliefs as well? And all of that is an energetic shift within our bodies.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So like I got a weird shoulder happening on the left side, oddly enough, but it was more work to actually even lift my arm within the negative yucky caca poo poo space than it was in the positive space.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
No kidding. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'll maybe let people try themselves. And please do, everyone. So we've got someone, she's saying auto reaction, like a sneeze.
Oh, like an automatic reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No,
any other questions from anybody?
Yeah. Does anyone have questions or thoughts?
Yeah.
Feel free to put them in the chat there.
I like even that grounding breath because, you can do that anywhere. Even if you're stressed at work, you can head to the bathroom and give yourself like 5 minutes to just kind of get yourself regrouped again and get that strength back that it's going to be okay. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That was a nice gift. Oh, you're doing a giveaway today too.
Oh, yeah. There is that.
Yes. Yeah. So for anyone who'd like kind of a refresher on what we talked about today, and then delve more deeply, I do have access to all of this information and again, more in depth. So I'll give away my module 1 of my 9-module course, Equus Empowered, to 3 winners. So all you have to do is just go to my website. So that's, you've got it there, www.leahdyck.com. And then just join my newsletter. There's a pop-up that comes up quite quickly after you go on the website. And as I was thinking too, I actually have multiple people joining my newsletter right now. So if you're on this presentation, so that I know it's you, also go to my Facebook page and like it, so that I can just correlate that it's you, so I can make sure you're in the draw. So do 2 things. Go to leahdyck.com and join my newsletter. And then if you just like my Facebook page, maybe Carolyn, if you don't mind putting it in the chat, it's just Leah Dyck, Equus Attuned. So if you do both, then I know it's you from this particular presentation, and make sure to get you in the draw. So I'm going to give it away to 3 winners.
Wow.
What you're also going to get with that, so you'll get the full module, which will give you all of the information. You'll get videos, trainings, you'll get examples, you'll get this example or this exercise, as well as a few others. I'm also going to do a Zoom for the 3 of you. So you're going to have a Zoom meeting with your 3 winners, and we'll then go over the information. You can ask any questions. You can share your experiences. We can talk about, you and your horses, those sorts of things. And you'll also get to connect with those, all the winners together, because we're all like-minded horse people. And that sense of community is really powerful for all of us. So I'll do that draw on October 24th, and then I'll contact all the winners via email.
That is fan-freaking-tastic. Oh my gosh. I can't, and I've taken her course, like anything she puts out, like it is phenomenal. So to get it, the first module for no payee and a Zoom, oh my gosh. Like who the heck would not want to do this?
So I did just put the Facebook page in the comments as well. So make sure you get 2 things to do, people.
Yes.
But it's so worth doing. So go do it. Subscribe to the newsletter, and then make sure you go like the Facebook page as well.
And I really think, Leah, besides, I mean, thank you
Always.
for all of this beautiful information and knowledge, and helping us to not go to woo fluffy world, but to actual real solid, we feel it. And I love that 6th sense piece, because it is feel. We can't see the wind, but we feel these things. And it's really a key piece to being our human part as well, because we can't just think of everything. It makes our body, it doesn't feel calm. It feels out of balance when we're actually doing so much thinking. So I really love everything you've done for us today. But I definitely think, and I know you all would agree, we should have Leah back one time, but going with the horses and how the horse with the horse does their job, and how we are aware as horse like-minded people, how we're actually seeing it properly instead of second guessing, because Leah knows my brain is always, am I or am I? I don't know, right?
Which one?
Yeah, which one is it?
And then we're like, did we actually follow our gut? It turned out that way.
Yeah.
But it did not turn out that way. We didn't follow that. And you never get to know. That's the hard part. You don't know what the other outcome would have been.
Okay, that is what, see, now that's too much thinking. Okay, anyway. I think that's what we should do, Leah. Do something like where we can all be in pajamas and hot chocolate, and we can hear more about the horse time. Hey,
good idea. If you guys all want that too, throw in a holy jumping tuna fish.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
The Bitmoji
Happily.
Or the emoji guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
happily.
it. This is so lovely.
Well, that is wonderful.
I would love to do that. I'd love to connect with you guys always. I'm always honored and grateful. This module 1 part is, just sort of to give the basis. I form the program like building blocks. So I want to make sure that everybody sort of understands the general concepts of energy and are comfortable with it. And then we move on much more specific to the horse and horse-human dynamic and human development and equine well-being. And it all goes hand in hand.
Love it. And even if you guys aren't thinking you want to learn on the horse side of things, you should still be going and liking the page and checking out the website, because all of it you just want to know and love Leah. You really do.
No,
At the end
you
of the
do.
day.
It's into the goods.
Yeah, and the
The
good,
good
stuff,
stuff.
the feel good stuff.
Yes, but the truth stuff.
Yes, with
I
the
like the
science
truth.
stuff.
The facts. Oh, okay. We're getting a little passionate about this now.
Really Leah today.
Yeah, right. We're gonna have to get a T-shirt with her face on it.
Yeah, seriously.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. Team. Yep.
Team Dyck.
Okay.
We'll go with that. And don't forget, my maiden name was Junk. I went from Junk to Dyck. Like, who did? You could have a Junk Dyck T-shirt.
Yeah, apparently somebody else is popping in some horrible comments.
Wow.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Jeez, I don't like how these people can do this.
No,
you know
why
what
are
I'm
they
saying?
crashing us?
But again, we don't have to think about it. We'll just say adios because we don't want to be a part of them.
No.
Nope. So no, people are excited. This is good. They should be signing up right now. So I like that. And lots of thank yous.
Yes,
Beautiful.
thank you to everybody who joined. We really appreciate your feedback back and forth and your answering to questions. And it looks like I'm kind of getting notifications that people are liking the Facebook page. So I'm really grateful, and I'm paying very, very close attention. So I make sure to get you in the draw as well.
Love it.
Woot.
And I like that you guys are commenting on here that you've entered too, because that makes it even a little bit easier yet.
It does. Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's true too. Because
Yes.
Leah can go to
Yeah,
our page
do
as
3
well.
things now.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Leah, we cannot ever thank you enough. You brought so much beauty to our lives in understanding our horses, well, and ourselves, I think, in many ways and different ways. And we appreciate you and everything that you do. And hopefully lots of these guys are signing up because you guys want to be in this course.
oh, you sure
You want to do it.
love it. It open your mind and your eyes so much to the horse. It's phenomenal. You don't know what you don't know until you do know. And then it's like, wow. And
And
you're
then
on
you
a
realize,
whole other planet.
and then you realize how much more there is still to know. We're just always learning. Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? You know, that is the thing with knowledge. I know we've talked about this before. I swear, especially in the horse world, not one human on this earth will ever know enough of all of it
Yes.
before we die. Like we're gaining beautiful things. Every 10 years we get more things. And I mean, every year we are, but you know, where the big things are recognizable. But no, I don't think you can in a lifetime understand the whole component and knowledge of these beautiful, magical creatures, if you will. And I don't like using magic too often, but
There's still
it's
magic
not
in the
fluffy,
world. I'm
but it's
sorry.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are magic.
Yeah,
So is
absolutely.
Leah.
And like,
Agreed.
the most freeing thing is realizing we know nothing. We know a lot,
Right.
but we know nothing.
That, we'll put
So
that up
true.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be on the back of the Team Dyck shirt.
Yeah.
We know nothing.
With this.
I am, because it was just gonna come out, and then I realized it was funny.
I bet you Leah's never heard those jokes before, hey?
never. The original. Thank you. We digress.
Yeah.
So thank you again so much, Leah, and we will definitely. Lots of people are asking for it, so we will definitely set up another time that we can connect and do another one of these.
Let's do it before the end
Sounds
of the
great.
year.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
like winter with.
I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hammers and hot
I
chocolate.
like
Let's
it.
do it.
I am in.
Okay.
Anything chocolate.
Love you, girls.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for-
guys. See you
Bye.
soon.
Have a great one.
Bye.